Oh, hello. It's been ages, eh? I'm not going to dwell on how shite the season's been this year, everybody knows. So, So I'm down here, this is the Almond, this is the 2nd of October. I've got 4 days left, so 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 5 including today. But I don't think I'm going to really get out again this week, so this is probably going to be my last brown trout session this year. Unfortunately, it's been I came out on Saturday there, but the water was a wee bit too high and a wee bit too coloured to fish it well, and I never saw a single fish move the whole day, so, or maybe I saw one little thing. But so I've been watching this pool here for 5 minutes. Usually I would like to start here, but I'm not going to fish it if there's nothing moving. There's no use to that at all. I don't have a lot of time today, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up to the rear pool and see if there's anything moving in there. There should be a wee run of finnock around this time, maybe a couple of late grouse and whatnot, but I don't target them yet. We've got another 3 weeks or something left for 31st of October. I should know this, I sit on the committee of the club and I'm a bailiff on the river and I don't even know the rules and dates. But we've got a few weeks left for salmon and sea trout, so I'll come down again a few times, hopefully with a double hander and the kind of heavier wee double flies on, and we'll hit this pool pretty hard. But it's just, for now, see, there's nothing moving in it, so I'm not going to bother fishing here. I'm going to go up to the weir, see if there's anything doing there, and I'm going to work my way up, probably as far as Soggy Arse today. And this is probably as far up as I'm going to go, because I don't want to go all the way up the river and then have to walk all the way back down again. I can't be arsed with that today. And being as this is likely my last brown trout session, I want to just take it easy, spend 10-15 minutes at each pool and then just call it a day when I'm done, rather than trying to cover as much water as possible and exhaust myself. So we're going to walk up to the weir pool, maybe we'll wee chat there, see if there's anything moving. If not, it'll be over the unnecessarily steep stairs up to like Barbara Streisand, No Edmonds, the Benchies, Easter Monday and all of that, and then the brig, and we'll re-evaluate from there. So I've seen a bit. Feck off. Fucking cormorant sitting right in where I was going to fish. That seam down there, so I'm guessing anything that's in there's either been munched or it's hiding. So well, I've got a wee bit of water to fish either side of that anyway. I don't know how long that damn thing's been here. Right. So it's been a badging for everybody, I think, eh? I know a few of you have been still managed to get out, but it's been hard going. Now Davy McPhail down in Ayers probably had the best of it. The river down there's fared a little better. And Chris Matthews was out yesterday. Or I watched his video yesterday, didn't I, when he was actually out, for a last cast. He managed to get a couple, but he highlighted a couple of things that have kind of harmed us all this year when it comes to fishing, at least. And Wild Fisher brought it up in the comments too, talking about climate change, which is definitely a problem. There's no two ways about that, but it's been used as a kind of catch-all to cover up a multitude of problems that are affecting the rivers, like over farming and pollution. And the problem we've got here in Edinburgh is the local authority is building houses on every available square of land. If there's 2 feet of flat land together, they're putting a bloody house on it. And just a couple of miles upstream from here, up by the airport, they're building houses there, and further up too. And what you end up with is just this constant runoff of concrete dust and they're disturbing land that's been sitting, you know, undisturbed, I suppose, for centuries. And there's, you know, it's not good for the environment to suddenly release all of those things that would be harmful to the soil and the river all at once. You know, gradual erosion's fine, that's, you know, expected, but you can't just have tons and tons of contaminated soil being dumped into the river over the space of a couple of months. You know, something that would normally take decades. And we're feeling the effects of it, definitely. We're seeing the effects of it, there's no hiding it. You know, the environmental agencies are, you know, trying to pretend it's not happening, or telling us it's this, or telling us it's that. But bugger off aeroplane. You've got people that have been in the job for 10 minutes that don't know the area at all, telling us that, oh no, it's not that, the river, blah blah blah. And it's like, we've been fishing these rivers for, you know, in some cases 30, 40, 50 years, and we can see the changes. So don't try and tell us it's, you know, it's just this thing that will pass and next year everything will be good, because it won't be. Because we've read the plans and we can see you're planning a new housing estate, or you're going to build a new bypass or whatever shite it is. So don't fucking lie to us as if we're stupid. We do need to get organised the way the surfers have, and get, you know, start a pressure group and just highlight these problems, because the hatches this year have been poor. There's been some days where there's been, you know, an absolute glut and the fish have gorged themselves, but these are a day here and a day there. There's not been any consistency the way there should be. It's feast or famine, and the fish can't live like that. There's, you know, all these pollutants in the water, there's been flooding, drought, no oxygen, not enough food. The goosanders and the cormorants are just gorging themselves because the fish are getting trapped in little shallow pools. It's, you know, a perfect storm. And we're the ones that can, you know, we're seeing it. I was going to just go usually over the steps there, but I saw a fish coming up in this bit here. I don't usually fish here because it's well, it's a horrible big muddy hole. And there are one or two fish in here that I've seen chasing minnows in the summer, but I saw one or two fish coming up to the surface, which is a bit of an oddity. So there's one just around out there, and there's one maybe 30 feet out. Well, I think that one there can probably see me, so I don't really have any hope of catching that. Oh, there it is there. Might be a decent sized fish. As I say, I saw a couple of fish in here that are at least a pound, but they usually kind of sit across the other side under the cliff there, and they'll just spend their day chasing little fry and minnows. It's very rare to see them coming up. Give it a go. I don't know if that's the same fish moving around and I'm just going to be chasing it, or there's more than one fish here. I don't know. Maybe a couple of sea trout have come up at night. You see, this amount of activity on the surface is very rare for this pool. Sinking into the mud here, I need to be careful. I don't have any kind of back cast here, and I've got a downstream wind, so they make casting a little difficult. That should do it. So there might be one or two sea trout that are just sort of cruising around here, fattening themselves up before they continue on. I'll definitely have a few casts. I've never actually caught a fish in this pool, so that'd be nice at the end of the season to, you know, something new at least. Need to be careful here because there's really deep mud that I'm sort of sinking into. But I'm sinking into it really slowly. So I might not notice until it's too late that I'm way up past my ankles. I don't want to move around too much and disturb the pool. No, I think I may have done that already. But aye, I'll give it a couple more casts and then I'll move on up. But I'll do the usual 3 more casts unless I see a fish rising that I can reach, and I'll cast to that and, you know, end up wasting half an hour, you know, chasing ghosts. But might as well go mullet fishing as do that, I suppose, eh? Right, unless I catch one of these, I'll see you at the other side of the steps. Alright, so I'll do fish in the slow pool there above the weir, never showed again. So I'm guessing either they're migratory fish that are just moving up river and, you know, taking whatever they can on the way, or more likely I scared them when they could see me, so nothing happened there. But I've come to this pool, I can't mind what I tried dishing. I give all the pools daft names and then forget them, so did we agree this one was Lady Gaga? I fish at the bottom. Oh, I've got the bottom. I will call this one Lady Gaga for now until I remember what I was going to call it. Oh, right, hang on a second. Managed to get that back. Aye, so I know there's fish in this pool, but I'm not seeing anything rise. But I'll have a few casts anyway, just because. Usually up around under the tree here and up by that kind of grassy rock, I'd expect to see a fish move in those pools, or those parts of the pool. But so far nothing. But I'll have a few casts anyway, just because. I've never actually, at another pool I've never actually caught a fish in. Oh. Wee dippers off flying around me, they seem quite agitated. I think maybe they're fighting over the good spots to spend the winter. But, you know, I'll let them be about their business. That downstream wind's causing me a few problems. My leader's doubling over on itself and it's kind of, the fly's not turning over very well. Shite. I want to get up another maybe 10 feet and I can, if it wasn't that wind wrapping my leader, I can make that quite easily. Shite. Never mind. I'm not going to catch anything anyway, so it doesn't matter where I put my damn fly, does it? I had once again, and I said this last year I think as well, I had all these plans for this year, things I was going to do, like fish the Taigh, the Tummel, the Tweed, and I managed to get a day at the Taigh which was absolute shite. I had a really good day at the Tummel. Oh fuck, nearly went earlier, and I think I saw a fish coming up. Maybe just out of reach. I had a good day at the Tummel. I only caught a couple of wee fish, but it was a fantastic river to be on. And I really wanted to go back, but you know, droughts and floods and 60-mile-an-hour winds. You can't fish in that. Only a madman would even try. Well, that was awful there, did you see that? Jesus. My fly landed behind my main line there, the wind's so bloody blustery. Ah, I'm on to a loser here, I think. It's far too windy, so I can't cast where I want to, and I can't wade out much further here because there's a big step in front of me where the water gets like suddenly, you know, quite deep. I'll get round the other side of this wee island maybe and try the top riffle there. And I'm wondering, shall I take you with me or will I turn my camera off? Because there's a fair chance I'm going to make an arse of this and take a header. I could turn the camera off because if I don't see anything rising, I'm going to move up by the benches and then fish Noel Edmonds and Barbara Streisand for a minute or two. So if I don't see you on the other side of this wee island here, I'll see you up by the benches. What was I saying? Aye, there was nothing showing in those pools there down below, so I've come up here. Have a few just to be exploratory casts. I know this pool does hold quite a few fish normally, but there's one over there way out of reach. That's a good sign anyway, there's fish on the surface. So I had all these plans to fish all these different rivers, and of course once again ended up on the back burner. I'm going to go down to the Tweed for grayling fishing this year. When I don't know when the season starts for that, or if it just continues at the end of the trout season. But I've got a pal lives down that way, and so I'll go down and visit them, and I'll take my rod with me and make a day of it. I've still not caught a grayling. I had wanted to try the Musselburgh-esque for grayling, but anytime I've been down there, it just looks shite. You know, the water quality is appalling. You know, there's no catch reports that are, you know, exciting, you know, let's say. I know there's a few fish getting caught, but I keep seeing the same thing and it's doing my fucking head in. It's people that have been down with spinning rods and they've been catching brownies, good sized brownies, big 3-4 pounders, and then chapping them. It's like, what are you doing? Apart from anything else, all brown trout go back. But that fish might have been in there for a decade, you know, and now it's gone forever because you wanted to show off. It's just like, fucking pack it in. You know, it breaks my heart to see that, it really does, because that's that fish gone forever now, and it will take years and years for another one to get to that size, if it's allowed to get to that size. And it's an important part of the ecosystem, but now that's it, you fucked it. So if you want to catch big fish like that and chap them, there's plenty of rainbow trout fisheries away and do it there. So I'm not seeing anything coming up here, apart from this. There was one way out of reach. I could probably get up there and kind of that wee riffle there and cast across to it, but it might be more trouble than it's worth, and I haven't seen it come up again. So a couple more casts into that little seam there. So those, you see the riffle comes out and the main flow comes along, so there should be fish sitting in there. That seems likely. You know, the likely spot in this pool is the confluence or the convergence of those two seams. But surprisingly, I haven't seen anything. Very little insect life on the water, mind you. I saw a couple of daddies and some little black midges earlier, but here I'm not seeing anything at all. Maybe the fish aren't inclined to come up too often. But I'll have a go anyway. But once I get past here on Easter Monday, I've only really got... Oh, fucking wind up again. So my flies. Oh, Jesus! Have I got that fish on? I was complaining there that I couldn't get a cast out, and a fish come up and took a snatch at my fly, and I had far too much slack line out. There's no way I was going to get that. I'll try that again. That's the frugal outdoors method, isn't it? Complain you're not catching anything, take your eye off, and then you catch one. There we go. It's only a little one. But it saves the blank. Oh, where's my net? There we are. Wet my net. And there you go. Well, at least I've no blanked on my last day. Right, let's get this wee bother unhooked and we'll get back in the water. And away. Oh, that's cheered me up no end. After not being able to get out fishing for weeks and weeks, I've caught one on my last brown trout sortie for the season. That's aye. That was a total fluke. But you know, luck's 99% of this game, I suppose, eh? Right, so we'll leave this pool now because I only ever saw one fish rising over there, and the fish I caught I didn't even know was there, so I'm just fishing blind and fluking it. Anyway, right, I'll catch these up at I think it's No Edmonds next. Well, there was nothing doing at No Edmonds Easter Monday or Barbara Streisand there. As you can see, there's still a fair bit of water coming down the river at the kind of the first weir below the brig, so the water behind it's pretty slow though, so I'm guessing well, funny I suppose when I get to the brig, I think the pools above the bridge are going to be a wee bit easier to fish, but we'll have a look and see. But the first couple of pools there below this weir are completely washed out, so if you're coming out to fish this the last couple of days of the season, I would maybe give it one more day of no rain before you try, if you're going to fish below here or down by the ladders. Right, so I'm just above the brig, and I think I saw a fish rising sort of into the left bank there, but I can't be sure if it was a fish or something falling off the tree. So I'll wait a few minutes and see if it happens again in the same place, and then I'll know. But aye, I've managed to sort of winkle a few fish out of here this year, so it's high worth a go. I've not seen anything moving apart from what I think is a fish just downstream of me here. But somebody asked me a while ago, and I've just not had a chance to reply, when I'm talking about the brig and the bridge, and there was some confusion there. This is the brig. What's behind me is the bridge. Now the brig was here a year before the bridge, but having a brig below the bridge doesn't make the bridge a brig, and having a bridge up for the brig doesn't make the brig a bridge. The brig's the brig, the bridge is the bridge. Yeah, I hope that cleared that up. No, that's not what I intended, but never mind. I was trying to cast across there and the wind just grabbed my fly and blew it completely off course. Never mind. Having fluked one fish already, I'll just let my fly go where the wind takes it today, I think, and not try and correct it too much. It seems to be working for me. So one of the straps has popped on my GoPro mount here. I'll need to sort that out. But that's what I get for trying to do things on the cheap and buying a shitey mount for Amazon for a tenner. And just buy a proper one and I won't have this issue. It happens every time I come. What am I telling you for? You don't care. You're here to watch me not catch any fish and listen to me talk pish about no catching fish. Not complaining about my crappy camera mount. Yeah, I'm going to have a couple more casts here because this wind's making it difficult. If I don't see anything coming up, I'm going to go up to the road bridge, no the bridge, and then from there up with the pines and then Soggy Arse I might make it to the canal up at the monitoring station, but I don't can. I'll have to see how it goes. I was talking to my partner this morning before I left, and it was like, it's either going to be finish around 1-2 o'clock, or it's going to be one and done. But I've had my one, you know, so that's the blank's beat at least. So if I don't catch anything else, I don't mind too much. But it's only like 9:30 or something. I've still got hours yet. I don't want to get back home quite yet. But anyway, we'll leave the brig and go to the bridge. And if the bridge isn't producing, we'll go to the pines and we'll see it for there. Just a wee look at that. Isn't that a lovely picture? This is one of the reasons I love fishing this river so much. There are just some days where you, especially if I've been away for a few weeks, you forget just what a fantastic place it is to be. And I can hear the sound of the traffic at Queensferry Road there going into Edinburgh city centre. But this is, you know, people drive past this and they've got no idea. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, under the road bridge, and I'm not seeing anything moving. The water's maybe a little coloured. It's about the right height maybe, but just a little coloured. And there's no insect life at all, so there's nothing rising. It probably fish better with an nymph here across the far bank there, and there's a big kind of deep channel, kind of 2/3 across. But I can't be arsed, to be honest with you. I've got like, I'd need to take my leader off and tie everything, and it'd take me 20 minutes, and I'm too lazy. I'm not doing it. I'll stick with a single dry until, you know, it either becomes a wet fly, it just gets waterlogged, or it snaps and I lose it. So aye, it's up to the pines and we'll see what it's like for there. But I'm not going to bother fishing here because I can't be arsed changing everything up. Right, I'm down below the pines, which are just like 60-70 yards up ahead of me, and I'm just going to spend a few minutes just watching this part. I've caught a couple of fish in this part of the river before, but it can be quite difficult because, as you can see, the water moves really slow, and so the fish get, you know, plenty of time to inspect your fly. But I didn't catch it on camera, but I saw a really big eel, like maybe, I don't know, 3 feet long, just really slow, really lazy, just went upstream by me. So that was nice to see. The man there, he lost his dug, but he's on it. But I've seen loads of eels in here, like wee things, you know, kind of like 12 inches long or whatever, but that's the biggest one I've seen for a long time. So I'll just watch this pool for a wee bit, see if anything moves. Because this is such a wide part of the river and such a slow part, there's no point casting blind. If I don't see a fish rising, I could be casting to nothing, so I'm not going to bother doing that. But aye, so this is I say probably the last day I'm going to be out for the brownies anyway, and I've beat the blank, so that's something. But what a season it's been. It's been terrible. It started off really good, you know. I had my absolute best days wild brown trout fishing here, you know, back when was it, May or something, where I caught those 3 absolute tanks, you know. I mean, they're not going to excite somebody that's fishing, you know, the Taigh or the Tweed and they're catching 5, 6, 7 pounders regularly, but for this wee river to catch 3 fish that size in one day was just, you know, I'm still buzzing for it, to be honest with you. But I thought, you know, this is a good start to the season, let's see. And then it just died in its heart, eh? Such a shame. But you know, it hasn't dampened my enthusiasm for fishing. You know, there's always next year and the year after and the year after that, but you know, I went out and bought a new rod, got all excited, and then damp squib. But I've got myself a new beach caster, a new spinning rod and reel for the pike in the winter. So I'm still going to be out fishing as much as I can. But after last winter, you know, fishing down at like Portobello, New Haven and Grant and Breakwater, where all I caught were shellfish. I caught starfish, I caught crabs, lobster, scallops, you know, all kinds of shit, everything but a fish. But I had a few kind of halfway decent mackie sessions during the summer there, so I've got maybe 20-30 mackerel fillets in the freezer that'll keep me going for bait, so there's that at least, I suppose. But there's nothing moving here at all, eh? This is well, I'm not really surprised at this time of year, but I had expected to see something at least. So what I'm going to do is go up a wee bit to directly across for the pines at that kind of fast flow that takes you. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but there's a kind of overhanging tree, then there's a big tall tree in front of the bigger taller tree behind it. So it's still a very good description, is it? 60 yards upstream, there's that kind of riffle there, kind of fish across the fast seam and kind of down under those trees there. But there's nothing moving here, so I'm going to get myself out before I sink into the mud, and then we'll try the pines, and then it's going to be soggy arse. Right, there was nothing happening at all at the pines, so we've come up to the tail of soggy arse. This is kind of one of the more difficult pools to fish on the river, certainly more challenging than most. But because it's the last time I'm going to fish this year, I've decided that, you know, I'll take that extra step. Maybe go, you know, shimmy down the bank on my arse, you know, because who cares? But I've not seen anything moving. Usually they expect to see one or two fish along the far bank there in that faster water, but so far nothing. But I'll have a few casts anyway. This is simply because I've got a branch overhanging me there. It's catching the tip of my rod. I'll need to move down again, I think. Get below that. But usually I wouldn't bother fishing here because it is so difficult to get a cast in. It's because it's so slippery and overhung with trees, and there's shelves that catch you unawares and all kinds of shit. Which is why I say this holds some big fish, because it doesn't get the same pressure other pools do. Right, I'm on a big flat slidey rock here, so I need to be careful where I put my foot. But I had one really good fish out of here on my best day ever fishing, and there was one below it, kind of down there-ish, that I just couldn't reach. And I probably still can't today, even if I do see it. It's going to be maybe a wee bit beyond where I can get to, but I'll have a few casts anyway. And then I've decided I'm going to go up as far as the monitoring station at the canal pool, and that's it. I didn't want to gang too far because I'll just need to turn around and hike all the way back down, and I don't want it to be that kind of day because I've still got things to do later on that are going to require Shank's pony, and I don't want to tire myself out before lunchtime. So I'll have half an hour here simply because I know there's big fish in here and it's worth making the effort to try and weed them out. But unless I catch anything, I'll no subject you to me casting blindly over and over again into the same bit of water. So, as always, unless something exciting happens or I fall in or whatever, the next time I see you is going to be up at the SEPA monitoring station. Right, I wasn't going to fish this part, but as I was walking up from Soggy Bottom to the canal, I saw a couple of fish coming up, just maybe 2 or 3 rod lengths in front of me. Now, I've had a couple of casts over them, but there's a wind, a very, very slight wind that's coming down that wee slope there, and it's dragging my fly away to the right, and it's making it difficult to get it to where I need it to be. And the fish is moving. I know there's 2 fish here. But they're moving. And just when I think I've got the perfect cast to where it is, it's where it was. And it's now a squirrel going across the telegraph wire there. A big squirrel, that. So, aye, there's a couple of fish in here that are coming up from time to time. I'm just having trouble getting my fly on top of them because there's a wee wind and I've got no idea where the buggers are because they keep cruising around. I know there's a couple of big fish in this pool. You usually see them underneath the overhang there when the water's clear and low, but they're far too wily to be caught with the likes of me, so I tend just to leave them alone. But I need to be careful here. There's a big shelf, quite a deep drop down there. It's going to go from ankle deep to nipple deep, and this basically a step, so you need to be really careful here. But hi, I'll have a few more casts, then I'll move up. There's a few people out with what kind of tracking dogs, you know, like spaniels, and they're throwing their, like, you know, the soft mouth toy things into the tree line. Obviously they can't see me, but I've framed the shite out a couple of gun dogs so far already. But I'm just trying to, is it one of those things that can I make myself known without making too much noise? Nah, I don't think these fish are coming up again. There's definitely 1 or 2 in here. I can't quite get to where I think they are. Well, I know it's not there. It's about 10 feet in front of where that cast landed. But I'm in all kinds of trouble at this part here. I've got back casts okay, but if I take a step out, I'm going to, you know, get my waders full of cold water. And if I try and cast into the bank, I'm hoping the wind's going to push my fly out, guaranteed I'm going to catch the bank, and I'll not be able to get my fly. Oh, got it. Well, there you go then. There's me complaining that it was too hard to catch the fish here and I was getting pissed off at it, and oh, it's got off. Oh well. At least I had it on for a bit. Right, okay. It was only a wee thing, it felt like a wee half-pounder sort of thing. That's okay. I'm going to count that as a catch, just because I'm a mean-spirited bugger. So if anybody asks, I caught 2 fish today. But right, so aye. I'm just going to rest this pool now. There's no point me trying for the other one because that's definitely spooked it. And so I'm going to move up to the canal and then we'll see what happens from there. I'm probably going to... What the fuck have I done here? Whatever. I'm probably just going to call it. See, that's what happens, isn't it? I'm complaining that I can't get my cast out to catch the fish. I catch it, and because I wasn't ready for it, it isn't hooked properly and it gets away. Never mind. Right, ever onwards. Well, we're up at the canal, and as you can see, the water's coloured, and there's the trees are casting their leaves onto it. A beautiful sight, but maybe not ideal for fishing here. But never mind. I'm just going to take a few minutes to enjoy this because I won't be here again until March next year. Not fishing anyway. I won't bring the double hander up this far, there's no use to that. But aye, it's a beautiful sight, even if it is putting the kibosh on my hopes of catching another fish. So again, thanks to everybody that's watched and left me a comment and, you know, engaged with me and communicated and answered my comments on their channels and everything like that. See, I'm not trying to build a big channel and all that. This is just me, you know, thinking out loud on the river while I'm fishing. And there's 420 or something people are at least interested enough in what I've got to say to click subscribe, so thanks very much for that. So to everybody that's going to keep fishing through the winter for grayling and whatnot and sea fishing, and John will be out with his kid on his boat, and George and his family hopefully will carry on with their pike fishing and everything through the winter. I'll do a wee bit of pike fishing, some sea fishing. I've got to do some grayling fishing, like I said before. I've got a pal doing Peebles Way, and I'll make a point to go down at least once or twice for the grayling. And so I just thanks to everybody that's put their videos up. You know, Cornish Chris is continuing his salmon adventure, Chris Matthews, That's a Bite, Zulcron, the Artistic Angler, the Awful Angler, you know, I could go on all day I suppose, can't I? Soul Trader, and all you guys, thanks very much for, you know, taking the time to put the videos up and chatting to us in the comments. So as I was saying earlier on, this is going to be my kind of sign off. If you can, if you've got the time and the inclination and you're able to, please do like get in touch with like your local environmental activist group, and just let them know what you can see in the river and the lochs or the lakes and the streams and wherever you are. It depends where you happen to be, because a lot of people, unless they use the river frequently, they won't notice. They don't know. For a lot of people the river's just there and they don't even think twice about it. It's only the few of us that are in amongst it all the time that can really see the changes and the damage that's been done. And especially in there's parts, I mean, I don't want to single parts of the country out because everybody thinks, you know, where they live's the best part and all that, but Scotland is suffering with over farming, over fishing. You know, this pollution that's getting poured in from these building projects that are unnecessary, I feel. They're building all these new houses and they keep saying they're affordable houses, but affordable to whom exactly? There's no social housing getting built, and that's what we need. Where I am just now is being gentrified to the point where I might not be able to live there anymore. And I'm not a rich man, but I'm not broke by any means. But there's all these new houses going up with scant regard for the environment. Well, the sun's coming up and the water actually not as coloured as it looked a minute ago. Still no fish moving, but I'll get myself out in just in case. But aye, Scotland's probably its biggest asset is the land itself. And we need to take care of it. We can't just build houses everywhere and power stations and whatever else it is. Same as down in Cornwall and Devon, people go down to these places for the I hate the word scenery, but they go down to see the place, to enjoy the tranquility. And if it's being destroyed in the name of profit for a handful of people that don't even live in the country, then we need to make a stand. We do, before it's too late. Yorkshire's going the same way. I spent a lot of time in Yorkshire. I was based in Yorkshire for a while, and I love the place. But I can see there, I've got friends down there and they're telling me still, you know, every year it gets worse and worse and worse, more pollution. Is that a fish coming up? I wonder if that's a fish coming up. I don't think so. I think it's just maybe a wee eddy under the water. I'm getting distracted in my own rant. But if you're able to, please do get involved. It doesn't have to be some, you know, yogurt weaving, tree hugging thing, you know. Yeah, I think you'll find there will be people, you know, who live on the river or beside the river, and they're just as concerned as we are, but we don't communicate. But if you were to approach them and say, look, I fished the river and this is what I've been saying, they'll be able to give you a lot more information, because especially if they live on the river, on like their home on the river, they'll know, they'll see it, they'll smell it, and you know, everybody can see what's going on, but nobody wants to talk about it. But the land doesn't belong to us, so we can't treat it this way. And this is probably as everybody's said, this is the worst fishing season in living memory, because we've let it get to the point now where it may be too late to reverse this, but we may stop it getting any worse. Anyway, that's my public service announcement over. So again, this will be my last brown trout session for the year. Thanks to everybody that watched. I'll be out once or twice more with a double hander, and I'll try and get as much as I can with the pike rod and the sea rod, or the sea fishing gear over the winter, but it's going to be few and far between, because if the summer was this bad, I'd dread to think what the winter's going to be like. Anyway, so I'm going to go up as far as the bend here at the fall down tree, maybe round the corner to the magic faraway tree, but no further than that, and that's just to get my shit together and, you know, put my rod away and everything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio and drasta.